Moist. Hi, everybody. What's up? It is Billy today. I was filming some content and I decided, I'm gonna just come on and say hi. How are you guys? Jerry says, moist. How are you, dear? Yeah, I know it's unexpected. I never come on it. What is it, Thursday? No, it's Friday, is it? Wait. Oh, it's Friday. I'm behind. So I hope you like my new bar background. You guys, I decided today I was really going to masculinize this up. So I got the background. I got my cutoff Dickies shirt. I'm good. How are you? I'm doing good. Um, it's a little warm today, but we're good. We have the puppies out there on the patio. People say, hi, Kristen, how are you? People say Shih Tzus are like very like particular, like indoor dogs. And so we have two, as you guys know. And so I'm determined to acclimate them to heat. I mean, we're in Southern California. Do you think Josh is trans or a troll? Is that the buff guy with the tattoos and he's showing up wearing the red lipstick? I think he's a troll. Because I wasn't familiar with him before, but I went and looked at some of like the comments and things that people were saying. And people were saying that he kind of does these things. Like he's done it with other things. I think he said he had cancer once. I'm not sure. But he got me. I mean, I did comment as Hagatha on his thing, but after a while, I started realizing, But as you guys know, it's getting more difficult to figure out what's real and what's not real. So, me included, I'm very skeptical of everything, and it's funny because it makes me reconsider like my whole drag thing. You know what I mean? Because at some point, like I wonder, like the act I do, is that at some point am I actually adding to the problem? Do you know what I mean? It's like if my image is out there as Hagatha, um, and I try to make people believe it's real. Is that speaking of cancer, I'm lying in the sun. Yes, Susan, you're working on that cancer. Awesome. Susan, do you lay out there naked? No, I don't picture you. I picture you wearing, okay, this is what I think. Because I know your deck, so I know you can't be naked. I know that. Um, or maybe you don't care. But no, I think you lay down and then you wear like a tube top or something. Like, no, not with the idiots next door. Do you like wear, yes, I want to be a morbidly obese lesbian with crazy makeup like Hagatha. Good, Cherry. But yeah, I wonder. It's like I wonder, am I adding to the problem? Like, I don't know. But a lot of people like understand it's fake. What did I miss, handsome? Hey, Jay. What, CJ? I'll find you my glasses. You didn't miss anything. They're probably Susan says they're probably rubbing it out. What, your neighbors? In case you guys, well, yeah, of course you don't know, but Susan Mills doesn't live far from me, and she had she has these neighbors that are crazy. Like, I mean, I don't want to say too much. I won't say where you live, of course, though. Um, it's like an old lady and her sons, her loser sons that are living off of her. They're probably like home health care aides collecting money. Hi, Jennifer. But one of them is like Buffalo Bill, like runs around in a dress and like isn't trying to be a woman. You know what I mean? It's like Norman Bates stuff. But in the mountains is fine. So Susan, what do you wear when you're sunbathing out on your deck? I picture you wearing a tube top, like just to cover this area. That's it, and maybe some like little shorts or something. So okay, so I don't know if you guys realize or know what I've been doing. Okay, so you guys know where I used to work, and ended not on good terms. and dealt with a lot of stuff while working there. And he has red tattooed on his neck. But I believe, didn't you say he also dresses up as a woman and comes down the hill and prostitutes himself? But the people who think you're real are so fun. I wish I had fun neighbors like Susan. Mine are old married homo couple. Oh, how boring. There's nothing more boring than old homosexuals. Oh, the brother's the hooker. You look amazing. Thank you, Laura. So this is what I've been doing. I like to expose things, and that's why I did Kitty, and I made my video about, drag and how I was against it and all that with kids. And, and with Hagatha, I kind of Hoggy. Oh, thank you, Laura. With Hagatha, I did, I wanted to really just expose how crazy shit is. Well, you know what? I've worked in gay entertainment, managed a gay club, managed and dealt with very popular and well-known drag queens around the world. And I have a lot to talk about from that job. Not just what was happening as far as like customers and the reality stars and drag queens and pop stars and stuff like that, but the people who ran the club. This is my only experience with working behind the scenes of stuff like entertainment, drag and stuff. And the things that we dealt with are pretty like outrageous. Like I'm talking like as far as like say OSHA and like labor laws and sexual laws and things like that. So it's hard for me to believe that because of the environment I worked in, that it would only happen in that building. It had to have happened in other places. I mean, there's no way that you can get a bunch of people together in this highly sexualized environment and bad stuff not happening, because a lot of people are like lowering their inhibitions. And they're in an adult environment, so they think they can get away with certain things with people. But when you're an employee, you're just trying to earn a check. That's it. Oh, hi, Chaz. I'm going to call you after this. When I saw your name, I meant to call him yesterday. Or was it the day before? I don't remember. I'm sorry. Okay. I'll have a scotch and dry, thanks. Okay, so thank you, Chaz. Okay, so anyway, I have a lot to talk about. And now that I'm 2 years out of the business, and I've recovered, I feel better, healthy wise, mentally, emotionally, everything. There are like things that went on in that place that are absolutely like disgusting, and for it to happen in this era in California, in a gay run establishment and a gay business, the people who are just, have their finger on the pulse of, what's appropriate or what's right or how you should treat people and love wins, was the most disgusting treatment and abuse and sexual harassment I have ever seen and received. I love the facial. Looks good. Thank you so much. Hello. The most normal person is here. Hey, Red Rabbit. I used to be a bar manager. I've seen things too. I'm kind of doing this slow rollout of information because it's so much. And, yesterday I had a friend that worked at Lipsticks in Atlanta, and he always told me horror stories. It is. First ever Longhorn Steakhouse was the gayest place I ever managed. Well, yeah, I imagine a lot of like men's servers are gay. I mean, not all of them, but probably, it's a stereotype, I'm sure. I bartended for 20 years. It's how I became an alcoholic. Well, mostly. Thank you, Donna. So, yesterday I stated how my previous boss, how I used to look over his dogs. Okay. He would go on vacations, and he asked for quite a bit. I mean, to be honest with you. And the reason why he needed so much help is because he has, well, Okay, he has had 2 packs of dogs, okay. The first pack was, I believe, 4 dogs, and they were all the same dog. They were all these white Argentinian Dogo fighting dogs, right? That him and his ex-husband had, okay. And so they would go on vacations and do all kinds of stuff and whatever. Well, as you would imagine, to board 4 dogs in a facility is very expensive, okay? And it's not that this person couldn't afford it because he made decent money, and I'm assuming still does, although I have my questions if whether he's still making the money he used to. But anyway, um, I would house sit. He wanted you to sit there in the house with the dogs because the dogs weren't disciplined or trained. And what was really, and a lot of you have like been watching me for a while and have seen me. I used to go live from this house. Is the dogs lived in kennels, and they still live in kennels. I know they do. Uh, like I said, there were 2 packs of dogs, and I would watch them. So the first pack was with one man. The second pack is with the new man that he has. The funny thing is, they're the same dogs. So I don't know if any of you have seen my post on Instagram. The first pack of dogs, when he got divorced, he moved a new boyfriend in, someone like less than like half his age. Like he was disgustingly young. Like I believe he was 19 and he was like 50, if not maybe almost close to 50. I love the setting for this. Oh, thank you, Artie. I remember that, and I hated the dogs being. Yeah, so Laura, you know. Okay, so I'm not lying about this. Okay, now this was a 5-bedroom home, very large home, very big home, not much of a yard, but it had a pool. Okay, and the dogs were, like I said, so undisciplined that the dogs didn't know like basic commands, like nothing basic. The dogs were they were like feral dogs, but all they did was go from a kennel in the house to the outdoor area, which is all cement. There was no grass, no nothing, not a tree, nothing. Okay. And the dogs would live, if they were outside, on the side of the house, contained in like a gated area. Okay. So they could run back and forth on a cemented or bricked, it's a bricked floor. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Okay. And that's so they would live in this strip of bricked area. These 4 big dogs, they're the size of Great Danes. Okay. And then I would have to get them and bring them in the house, but they weren't allowed to run around the house because they're not disciplined or potty trained or anything. So the dogs would go right into these kennels that they could barely turn around in. Okay. And at one point he actually stacked them like they were like lab monkeys or something. He put kennels on top of each other. Anyway, so basically the dogs are prisoners. Did they get taken? Yes, he takes them for walks. He does. 1 walk a day. Okay. If it's every day. Okay. But like I said, that is it. And the dogs live in a kennel. Okay. And they, like I said, they could barely turn around in it. Now, the first dogs that I watched, I would go to the house. It is pretty basic, like the second pack I used to watch. So you had to live in the house. So when let's say he's gone for 4 days. Okay. So I have to stay in the house for 4 days. Now I could leave and, but don't ever have a friend over. Okay. I had a friend over, a female friend who has dogs too. And she's a responsible counselor and all that stuff. But he would watch me on his ring. Okay. He would watch the house. And like I had my friend over and like we had lunch or something. And he goes, "Oh, you had a friend over? You had somebody there?" Like, "Yeah, it's a girl. She's a heterosexual and she's married and she's pretty boring." It wasn't like a party thing okay. So, I was corrected. I was not allowed to have people over. And except Marquina, I could have him over. And fine, that's whatever. Those are your rules, okay. And I can understand because you wouldn't want people to see how you keep your dogs, okay? But anyway, so, there was a strict feeding schedule. Wait, these are big dogs, guys. Yes, they're like Great Danes. They're what they're called is our Argentinian Dogo fighting dogs. Okay. They're basically pure white dogs. They're beautiful dogs, but they're not like the smartest things, and they can be violent because one of them like mauled the owner, mauled his arm. Okay. Anyway, but the thing is, this is what happens. See, and this person thinks he's a good pet owner. He thinks he's a good pet owner because he tells the dogs he loves them. Like, he's one of these people that believe like words are magic. Hi, Pink Flamingo. He thinks words are magic and like words are going to like heal things. Okay. So the dog that's been in a kennel all day crying, okay, and who don't know basic commands like sit, come, or anything to save its life. I mean, as you people who have children know, looking good. Oh, thank you, Pink. Um, is you discipline children. You teach them right from wrong so they don't hurt themselves and others. Well, a good pet owner does that with their dogs too. But that isn't what he did. The dogs were accessories. They were basically prisoners. They went from kennel to cemented yard strip in the sun and high wind. It's like, I don't understand people. If you don't love your dogs, then why do you have them? Like, is it just so you could have a dog? Like, he sounds like an authentic sociopath, completely void of empathy, while also pretending, oh, here, I'm going to show you. Okay. So we're kind of like in this passive aggressive online fight right now. He's blocked me from social media, but of course, everybody has different accounts, don't they? But he's now posting things that are messages to me. And here, that's funny. Okay. So I went online and I told everybody, hey, yeah, this is what, and I never say his name. It's just that people know where I used to work because it's a pretty popular place. So he knows that. And I'll never say his name or anything. But okay. So he's been posting things like this. Some people visit my past more than I do. I don't live there anymore. I sold the whole building. Well, you may have sold the building, true, but you also murdered your dogs, okay? So you can get some Latino booty hole. It's really weird. And then, excuse me, hold on. And then he posted this. Wait, so it's like some people visit my honey. That's not just your past. That's everybody that was in your life. That was their past too, and they're entitled to rehash it, and they are entitled to talk about it and to go through it. Okay, so I get it's your past, but I'm talking about my past now. Okay, because this is part of my past. Okay, so anyway, and then he posted this. I'm not embarrassed about anything I went through. What may be tea for you is a testimony for me. If you're going to talk about what broke me, invite me to the table so I can tell you what God did with the pieces. It's always I love when people post this stuff. See, this guy has been in trouble before. And I'm not even saying I agree with the trouble, but he always finds himself in trouble with people. He found himself in trouble with Black Lives Matter, okay? Because he didn't post the square or whatever. I can't remember what it was, or he said something off color, okay? Which is very common for him, okay? Well, all of a sudden he was, racist, anti-black, and this and that. So what he did was he found the only black friend that he has, and all of a sudden started posting pictures of him and going places. He's like, hey, you want to go to a concert? I'll pay for everything. I just need to be in a picture with you. I mean, he didn't say that, but that was what it was. Okay. And it just cracked me up because I know this guy like a book. I know him like a book. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Okay. So then he got in trouble with the trans community. Okay. See, this is how stupid this person is. And I knew he was stupid the day I got hired there, but of everybody knows he's stupid. They just put up with him because he writes checks. Okay. And we all know people like that. Okay. So what does he do? Okay. He gets on a microphone because he also thinks he's a celebrity of some kind, or, people really want to hear what he has to say, which is so funny because everybody in the audience is young enough to be his grandchild. And he thinks that they're his peers, which is really strange. Okay. But anyway, so he gets on the microphone and he starts talking about his politics and things that he likes. He's talking to these kids that just want to see butts and dicks swinging in their face and drag queens. Okay. But he has to go and try to, tell them something. Okay. And it's like, he then brings up trans issues. I mean, I have my opinion of all this stuff, and it's like, whatever, but I don't care. If I have an audience of people that are paying me, why am I going to tell them like things they don't want to hear? I'm telling you everything you want to hear because I want what's in your wallet. It's like, it's a horrible business plan, horrible business solution to do that. I don't get that. This dude is a narcissistic, grandiose narc like my ex. Oh, yeah. It's really strange. Okay. But anyway, so, he got in trouble, like I said, with trans people because he said the word tranny, or he called somebody a he instead of a she, and then was insensitive to it. Hey, I'm all for misgendering people. I don't really care. But you don't do it in front of an audience of 700 people when you want their money. It just, I don't understand what he didn't understand. So he got in trouble with the trans community, and then they all boycotted him. And, all this crap. Well, the thing is, the drag queens are doing it too, because he has been horrible to everybody. He uses everybody. Narcissists are probably the scariest people. Yeah, it could be that also, but I don't know him well enough to throw that label around. According to the DSM, there is one thing, and it's called ASPD. If he lives in a fancy place, he will emulate fancy people. Well, anyway, so I went on Instagram yesterday and I left a post stating how he murdered his dogs because he just didn't want them anymore for whatever reason. Oh, I don't want them. Okay. He was dating a 19-year-old kid. And I will say this, he wanted him to move into his house so bad, but the parents didn't want him to. His mom and dad were saying, no, I don't want to say his real name. No, Roberto. No, you can't go. And then they came up with a story that the kid was going to move in with the old man. And he said, well, he's my professor at school. And I'm going to move in there and I'm going to sleep in a spare room for whatever reason. It's closer, whatever, to school or whatever. And so that's what they told the parents. So he moved this kid into his house. And then the kid is there and he doesn't like things. And apparently he didn't like the dogs. So the old man said, yeah, we'll go ahead and get rid of him. So this kid, he went and killed them. He took them and had them euthanized. And then once they were gone, the old man goes and buys him a Lexus. Well, some time goes on, and just like any young guy that's been with him, they're only with him for money. And he knows that too. He knows that. He's 60 years old. He knows exactly why all these cute young Latino guys are hanging out with him. It's because he has a checkbook. Okay. And what happens is eventually the money isn't enough. Eventually they don't like him. And it doesn't take long. That's the funny thing. So this last one, we'll call him Roberto. He bought him a Lexus, to pull him in even more, to make him more of a prisoner of his wallet. This could be a movie. Oh, totally. It could totally be a movie. Okay. So anyway, once he has this kid in his life and his dead dogs are gone, things start to fall apart. Things aren't working out anymore. And, it couldn't happen to a better person. You kill your dogs for some young booty hole, and you think that is something you could like, oh, I've grown from my past. Dude, you were an old man when you did this. There's nothing to grow from. You're already grown. You're already grown, and you've been very successful. You've been around the world. You've seen it all, and you've done it all. You're not growing, okay? You're just hiding. Okay. It's grooming pretty much. Knock off a dog and I'll buy you a car, Timmy. Okay, wow. When I first started listening, I was worried this was one of my other drag queen friends, but they would never get rid of dogs and buy anyone a Lexus. No, Pink. This is somebody that your drag queen friend probably knows. Okay. I'm telling you, this person is very known by all the high level drag queens that, and most of them who have been on the show have come to this club and know this person. Okay. And they won't do business with him again. That's the thing, is typically, this is what happens. He gets in a very popular person. Okay. They request money, and it's like it could be $3,000 to $5,000 to have these high level drag queens come to your club. Okay, depending on how hot they are at the time. If they're fresh off of RuPaul's Drag Race, they're very expensive. Or if they're ranking high while they're on the show, they're very expensive. It's like this level pay plan that you pay for a drag queen. Okay, and so, but the thing is, they don't really want to come to California. A lot of them live here, but they work somewhere else because the opportunities are here in California. Yes, Red Rabbit, I'm too old. But the thing is, it's completely saturated in Southern California. So, uh, very high profile drag queens live here and they perform in local clubs and stuff. So the people here don't think it's a very big deal. But when you have to get a winner on the show to really sell out a club now here because like you have access to them all the time. So then he's like, hey, he has to pay like $3,000 to $5,000 to get them in the club. Okay. And they probably make $100 tips because the club is pretty ghetto and it's in a pretty ghetto place and he gets a ghetto clientele and that's just the nature of it. I'd pay anything for you, Kitty. Oh, Mars, you're so sweet. I knew one named Charlie and she was a very expensive drag queen. Well, even RuPaul apparently won't get into drag for less than $25,000. So you don't see RuPaul in drag very much outside of the show. But anyway, the whole thing's hilarious. Okay, well, it's not hilarious. He murdered his dogs. Okay. So once once the teenager left him, and then he made sure he goes, "You're not taking the Lexus with you." So the Lexus was like a gift, with strings attached to it. Oh no, you only get to keep the Lexus if I'm actively banging you. Okay, if I'm not banging you, you don't get to take the Lexus. It was one of those things. Okay, so okay, you're not banging me anymore. So here's the Lexus. I'm going home to my mom and dad. And to hear these stories and to hear these problems from this 60-year-old man was like, really? Like, anyway, another thing I can tell you, this will be like, well, no, I gotta tell you. Okay, so after going through a couple porn stars and dancers, damn autocorrect, I meant I'd pay anything for your Kitty. You should write a book. Maybe I will. I don't know. But you want to know something? The thing is, I would be at work, right, with this person. And, he's talking his shit. He'll talk shit about everybody. Okay. And I mean, I'm a shit talker too. You guys know me. I'm a shit talker. Okay. The thing is, I don't have to hide what I say. I'll say it out in the open. He won't. Okay. So he's a coward. Okay. So, but the thing is, okay. So he went through a couple porn stars and a couple dancers. Okay. And they're known like gay porn stars. Okay. But they can only put up with him for so much because he's a lot to deal with. A lot. Okay. So anyway, he is then shopping for a new piece of ass and he's shopping at work again. That's where he gets all his goods. He gets it at work. So he finds another security guy and has made him his husband. Okay. And I have nothing bad to say about that person. I don't. I have nothing bad to say about him. We and him have always gotten along and everything's great. So, but I know the nature of this conversation. He's not going to like me because of it. And that's fine. That's good. Okay. But anyway, one cool thing that I recently saw that I absolutely loved was, howdy. Hey, how are you? I've worked with men like this. So he finally meets, okay, so he gets the guy that he's currently with, and they've been married and stuff. And I can't remember at what point. I think it was after they're married. He decides, oh, I'm going to get dogs again. Okay. So what does he do? He goes and gets 2 dogs that are just like the dogs him and his ex-husband had. Okay. So he gets 2 of these Argentinian fighting dogs and then they get English bulldogs. Okay. So now they have 4 dogs. I just joined. Ooh, who are we talking about? We're talking about my ex-boss. So geriatric narcissistic gays. Gay ones. Yes. So anyway, so he gets this new husband, okay? And And I would imagine, being an old man, as time marches on, and you still like the young booty hole, you gotta do more to get that booty hole, okay? So, the trips and the vacations and the gifts and everything, and just abundance of this stuff. Wow, yes, he got dogs again. He did. So he has the 2 Argentinian dogs and 2 bulldogs, okay? Now, uh, I took a little bit of a hiatus from this job, and then I came back, okay? So I was employed here 2 different times, and under the table in between. I would just go back and I would do some work, get paid under the table, whatever. Okay. Yes, Red Rabbit, Atlanta is a gay city. So he basically sees everything in life as an accessory. Yes, everything is an accessory to him. Everything is a tool for him. Everything is exploited. And the thing is, he'll pay for it all because he could write checks. So he can pay for this stuff because he has money. But the thing is, it doesn't buy any. See, the thing is that he really craves the most. Honestly, he craves closeness, and he wants closeness, and he wants loyalty, and he wants people he can depend on. But the thing is, you can't have that in your life when everything is transactional. My mom did some dogs. Oh, back in the day. Oh, she killed him. He sounds so much like my mom. It's crazy. Um, okay, so I come back into his life again, and he's like, I become manager, all this crap, and then he's like, "Oh, you want to house sit for me again?" I'm all sure. So it's the same routine. I go back into house sitting, same routine. The dogs are locked up all day long because they'll piss and shit all over the house because for some reason, both of the dog daddies, neither one of them want to discipline these dogs or teach them anything. And that's what I don't understand. I don't know why you don't take them to training. Like, why not take them to a dog trainer? I mean, the dogs want to learn. They want to be good boys. They want to please. A dog wants to please their owner. So you have to give them like a task, a job. You have to love them. You have to discipline them. You have to, show them how smart they are. And a dog isn't just an accessory. It sits in a cage. And so he didn't learn from his last dogs. The dogs went right back into kennels and they go right back in and out of the house. So he didn't realize that what he was doing was cruel. Like it's cruel to raise an animal like that. And I know we all have different ways of raising animals, whatever, but there is a point where our differences in the way animals are raised start to really kind of show the difference in way people they raise their animals. And some do a good job, some do a bad job. And in my opinion, if your dog spends hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours a day in a kennel while you're home, like you're watching TV, why is your dog sitting in a cage? I don't get it. Okay. I don't understand it. I have always been successful at raising animals that aren't caged. And I get it. Since I've been older, people have really gotten to this crate thing where you keep an animal in a crate or a kennel. It's a cage. You can call it what you want, but you're still caging this animal. And if you have to cage your animal, that's fine. I'm not judging you. But what I'm saying is the dogs lived in a cage. They lived in individual little shoebox cages. Okay. Like, honestly, the animal would probably have more room at the dog pound. And I'm not joking. I'm not, I'm a shit talker, all that stuff, but I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. Yes, I never used a cage. And I get, I know there's different lifestyles, whatever. Some people have to go to work. They can't trust their animal. They put it in a cage. That whatever. I wouldn't do it, but whatever. You could do what you want. I also feed my animals. I also hand make my animals food. So I don't buy a can, and I'm not saying if you buy a can that you're bad, or if you feed them out of a bag, you're bad. That's just what I do. My trans dog, aka one of my cats who acts like a dog, is a free roamer. Jerry, you're kidding me. That's awful. But anyway, so I'll get it. So I would go and house sit these dogs too, okay? And, it wasn't like it was hard. I mean, once you get the routine down, at least these dogs got along and didn't fight. His first pack that he murdered, they would fight. You had to separate like 2 boys or a girl. I can't remember, and you had to do it was very particular. Another reason why you should train and discipline your dogs and get someone to help you with training, because if you have dogs that are fighting, the answer isn't just to cage them separately and they just live like that. I mean, anyway, but again, this is what I don't understand. This is not a poor person. This is a person who has money. Okay. And that just tells me if you have money in your pocket and you don't even consider the fact that maybe I should take my dogs to get trained since I don't seem to make the time for them. You're just a piece of shit. You are. If you have the money for that and your answer to being a pet owner is just locking them in cages all day when you like probably make over $1 million a year and you have all the money in the world to go see J-Lo and Beyonce and Madonna every weekend, flying somewhere to go see some diva somewhere or going, you know what I mean? It's like at some point it would kick into me. I have dogs sitting at home in cages that are like licking themselves to death or who are shitting, and rolling around in their poop and stuff. I would think that maybe anybody who truly loved animals, that thought would kick in. Like, wow, I'm sitting here in Italy blowing all this money on stupid stuff while I have 4 dogs that are living in cages suffering at home. Like, I don't know. I have a 13-week-old puppy and he has a cage which has his food and bed in but is open. We did that with ours. Always open and she can yes, I did buy the whole concept that they're comfortable in their kennel. So I did buy a wired kennel thing because that's what everybody tells you should do. Okay, sorry. So that's what I did. And I put a bed in there. I put food. I put water. So I'm saying, here, this is your domicile right here. So this is your room. And the funny thing is the dog would go in there, take a couple bites of food and then leave and did not even recognize it because it had already recognized like our bed and our bedroom as its home. So it just became like a housing for the food. So we eventually removed it, but never used it. We never had a need. But again, we have the lifestyle where we're around our animal all day. We don't leave the home to go work. We're home all day. So possibly that's a privilege. I don't know. But if I if I had to keep my dog in a cage, I wouldn't have a dog. That's just me. Jerry, I'm not really sure. Well, maybe some fish. My cats never want people food anyway, so they like their cat food. We have a coffee table. That's a kennel. People who think like that don't do those things in the first place, right? Is this person still among the living? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm. People are mostly garbage, sadly. Nothing is startling anymore. Yeah, society is actively being desensitized by design on every level. It's horrific how animals are so abused and neglected. It's just I don't get it. I don't understand why you would do that to your animal. But anyway, so I would house sit, and so on top of he would buy me things to eat in the home. They weren't eating people because they took steroids and drank their calories through protein shakes and not not the protein shake downstairs, but the one that they mix in a blender or whatever. Buster will tear your leg off. Well, he should, Billy, if you're going to lock him up. Okay. Not all brains work the same. What do you think about homeless people? Oh, Divine Waters. We just saw that yesterday at a drive-through. I'm so glad you mentioned that. We saw this white, fat trash bitch sitting in the back of a fast food place. So she hasn't missed any meals at all. Okay. And she was sitting there with her greasy hair with a sign. And holding was a cute little, I want to call it a schnauzer. Actually, it looked like something that she stole, because I'm thinking, why would someone as scuzzy and as nasty as you have such a beautiful, maintained, and groomed little dog? Okay. And it wasn't her who did that to that dog, because the crazy look on her face, you couldn't trust her with scissors, or, with clippers, or even a dog. And so me and Mark were sitting in the drive-through, and I go look at her, and I said, "Do you really think that's her dog? She stole that dog." Because dogs are getting stolen all over the place in our neighborhood and city, and they're using them. See, before the prop, okay, so you would sit on a street corner, and the sign would say, "We'll work for food." Well, once people realize you really don't want to work for the food, you don't even want food, you want money. Okay. So now as a culture, we understand that they don't really want food. Okay. So you rarely see the "will work for food" sign. Then the gimmick turned into a wheelchair, a crutch, a brace on the leg, whatever. And, people are just, I don't care. I don't care about your hand. Oh, you're handicapped. Oh, so you should be on disability, right? Oh, you're not. Okay. So whatever. Okay. So now the gimmick is having a dog, so everybody has a dog now. There's a lady at the grocery store by us who actually has 5 of them. 5, and they look like clones. They're all like this reddy orange, like pit bully, American pit bull looking dog. And they're all in a shopping cart, and she's going down the street. Okay. So these people have realized that dogs, people are give them money because of the animals. So did you see her? Oh, Susan. Yeah, she hangs out by Stater Brothers. Okay, this other one was at George's. George's on 40th. Oh, she was just nasty, just completely nasty. And she had this dog. I'm like, why are you with that dog? Like, why do you have that dog? But now I know why, because people feel sorry for the animals. So so you're like, well, I don't care if you're hungry, and you're clearly not, because you're obese. So you are eating, and you have that animal, and I'm afraid you're not going to feed that animal. So here's $1 so you can feed the animal. It's just, you got to think about it, people. That dog isn't going to get $1. What that dog is going to get a piece of her burrito that she gets at the place that she was sitting at. And then one might say, and I am one to really listen and to argue both sides. In my head, I can argue both sides. Okay. So people will say, "Oh, that poor woman. Imagine how lonely she is. I mean, she can't even find a kind human face to look at her and love her. And she's probably just starving for love and attention. What harm is it in that little dog? I mean, that little dog probably is saving her." Is Janny here? Hi, Janny. How are you? You love my glasses? Thank you. I just got them. You guys, I got them from Glasses USA. Okay. And it took me forever to get them. And of course, I was very skeptical on like ordering them online, because I am on disability, and so I get really crappy service with medicine and stuff. So I go, it's funny, you go to Sam's Club or Costco, and you get your test, and it's really cheap. The insurance covers it. And then you take the prescription to the eyeglass area to get glasses, and they go, "Oh, we don't take it." It's like, but you took it for the test. So you don't take it for the glasses. Well, what a waste of time. What a waste of time. Okay. So it took me forever to try to find some place that would fill a prescription for my medical insurance. And I went to this place. They go, "Well, we're going to have to submit the insurance and get an approval, and we're going to get a reference, and, all that bull crap, with socialized medicine, which everybody can't wait to have." And it's like, do you really want that? Seriously. If I can snap my finger right now and go back to private insurance that I had, in a heartbeat. And do you really think that socialized medicine is going to get better? No. Ask Canada, ask England, ask anybody on socialized medicine. Divine Water Fan, I sent you a message. Oh, that's for you. Okay. They suit your face. Thank you so much. And so what I did was I go online, I put in my prescription, which is very hard to figure out. So I had to educate myself on eyeglass prescriptions, so I knew how to type it in. And then, you go through this thing where they're trying on virtually, all the different glasses, and then they want you to measure where your pupils are. And it's hard when you don't actually have the glasses to do it, but I did it, and I'm satisfied with them. I mean, I didn't spend a whole lot of money on them because I didn't get all the, anti-glare, or the transition stuff. Yes, socialized medicine equals long waits for everything. Yes, you want to know. Okay, imagine people. Okay, let me tell you about my doctor's office now. Okay, my doctor's office that I have to get through. It's called Medi-Cal, like Medi-Cal, California. It's basically Obamacare. It's whatever. I go to the clinic they make me go to. I swear to God, and I'm not joking at all. The vet for my dog is nicer. Like, the vet has a coffee bar, it has refreshments, it's painted, it has a hard floor, matching chairs, pretty decorations, and nice people. When I go to the doctor, the floor has been stripped from the tile and it has all the old glue on it. It has like chairs, they're all different colored chairs and stuff. The artwork is faded. You could tell it was in another office sometime with the sun bleaching it out. Okay. Then you go into the actual clinic area where the care is given, and it has carpeting. It's like, how do you have carpeting? Like, you can't sanitize that. Like, we're in this medical facility where you're going to do things, and there's carpet, and there's old 80s silk flowers arrangements hanging in baskets on the wall. Okay, I'm like, is this like 1980 Kansas? Like, it's really weird. And I'm like, how do you guys even practice medicine here? Um, it's hard to find someone who can speak in a English with an accent I can understand. And like, I've lived here my whole life. Okay, so I'm in England. NHS is good, but the main thing that sucks about it is the wait. Yes. So you guys, if you want, okay, so think about, okay, we all know the Department of Motor Vehicles in the United States. Imagine walking into the DMV and trying to get medical care. That's what it's like. My doctor's office is lovely. You know what, Pink Flamingo? Where can I go to get that privilege? Do you pay for your insurance? I miss it. I do. One thing about Amazon when I worked there, and I hated Amazon, they had great insurance. They did. It's like you went to clinics and facilities that made you feel like you were an important person. Now you're kind of like a burden. It's like you're dealing with people who just want to go on their lunch break. And it's like, wow, I just remember when I was a kid, medicine was so different. It's like, first of all, everybody seemed to be a little older than they are now. They came from a time where if they weren't respectful, they at least knew that they had to behave respectful, because that's just how people get along in society. I believe back then they were like very more professional, definitely, but also more knowledgeable too. I feel like that anybody who kind of like goes through a medical thing is pretty much like when I went through cosmetology. You get a certificate of completion. Like, I know that like they go through more schooling and maybe a degree and stuff like that. But I'm starting to believe that the people who are now working in the medical field are just it's like they went through like a community college course and got a certificate. Like, I don't understand how you could I don't maybe they don't have to do the schooling that I think they do, or have to like score high on tests or anything. I don't know. But they are definitely not like how they used to be at all. Chaz says, I have a friend from London who couldn't praise the British socialized medicine program. But she eventually revealed her family was rich enough to pay for a supplemental insurance that gave them better service and medicines. Pink says, communist Massachusetts? JK. I don't actually think that way. But it could also be nice because it's in a nice town. Well, yeah, see, Pink Flamingo, this is the thing. Okay. You live around money. Okay. You live around money, and that's going to spill over into your life. I don't live near money at all. Like, it's horrible. So, yeah, so you guys, I suggest you live in the worst house in the best neighborhood you can afford. Don't go for the best house in the worst neighborhood because it'll suck. It will. Because now you're shopping and dining and going to all like your social services and all of your, everything you have to do with poor people. And it's awful. And I'm not saying that poor people are awful people. I'm just saying that poor people tend to have a poor culture. I'm broke, but yes, people be rich around. Well, dear, well, honey, you give a luxury service, don't you? See, this is I've always felt this way. And I've never been jealous of I've never been jealous of rich people. Like I never have. And I don't understand people who hate billionaires. Like I'm like, what? So if you were a billionaire, you wouldn't like it? like if you were let's say you were born into the family and that's all you know. I mean, like why are you a bad person because you're a billionaire? But anyway, I've always looked at wealth as something to be to that's you attain. It's like to me, looking at a rich person is like looking at a beautiful person. It's like I don't hate you because you're beautiful. I mean, you could probably be like, oh, I wish I had your teeth. I'm a big tooth person. Like I hate my teeth. Hate it. So I always notice that on people. And it's like you may have a gorgeous smile and you may have spent $20,000 on it. And I'm happy for you. I am. I'm happy for you because you have pretty teeth and I don't. But so I'm really not a jealous person. People feel slight envy about, oh God, I wish I had that car. But I have never been the kind of person that hates people because of their wealth and their opportunities and stuff. I identify as wealthy, but no one treats me like it. So the thing is, I always knew how to behave. I always knew how to act around people who knew, who had money or whatever. And I had friends that had money. And so I would hang out with them and I was thinking, oh, okay, so this is what it's like. Okay, I'll be here one day. And I've never even touched it, but I've enjoyed it. I enjoy watching people spending their money. I enjoy people having a good time. And the thing is, when you're not a hater, and you could be a poor person, and you know what? Your friends will take you along with them. Oh, hey, you want to go to this restaurant, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Something that you normally wouldn't have access to. Okay. And then you start like realizing, oh, these are just normal people. Like, and sometimes they're a lot of fun. And so I think a lot of people's like jealousies really get in the way of really just having fulfilling life. And it's like, I don't disparage anybody for the wealth that they've earned or anything. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird, but I'm not one that hates rich people. I love them because often I would benefit from them. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I have lots of rich friends and I do. Yeah. So it's like, I don't get it. It's like, have people just become so like hateful? Like you become so hateful that like, you don't like respect or even are happy for other people's success. A poor person never hired me for a job, right? On paper, it says I'm wealthy, but I don't know where any of my money is. My I'm a teeth person too. I could have had teeth, but I chose my smile. Oh, I would too. If someone handed me like $10,000 right now, oh, it's going right in my mouth. Right. Well, it'd pay off my credit cards, but you know what I'm saying. It would go right in my mouth. All the dentists at the clinic I go to are Chinese and look about 12 years old. And are you what's so conflicting in you with that, Lee? Huh? Are they attractive? But anyway, I forgot where I was going now. Um okay. Oh, well, okay, so let me get back into my house sitting. So when I'm house sitting these dogs, they had like this food plan and very very expensive food, okay? So it's funny, he would feed them very expensive food but didn't care about their quality of life, which is very strange. Glad I caught you live, busy eating. Oh, you're eating gummy bears? You know what? I think I have some over here. Come with me to Bulgaria for a trip. Oh my god. That would be a great trip. I have tons of dentist cousins in Bulgaria. Are you Bulgarian? And is it like people go there like they go to Turkey to get things done? because I'm seeing a lot of like cosmetic surgeries coming out of Turkey and stuff. Um, so anyway, so he would buy all the food and not all of it. I mean, I would still have to go out and get food, but I never really expected him to feed me while I was there. Are you at work? No, Kurt, I'm at home. I don't work. Oh, Greta Money. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. So when I would stay at his house, he would give me $100 a day. And in hindsight, that's not a lot of money. Especially when the dogs probably being boarded would be 500 or more a day. Okay. So I would stay in his house. He'd give me $100 cash a day. He would pay me up front. So I'd get an envelope with, a week's worth of money, like $700. And of course, when people hand you money, you're, oh wow, I just got $700 handed to me. But you're also there all day, every day for a week. Okay. So, and it's a very cold house. Like for gay, it's odd to me that gay men don't really, they're not very, he's not a very decoraty person. Okay. Greta Money says, we bought a beat up foreclosed home in the upper mid class neighborhood. One of the best, yes, decisions of our life. Plus our daughter could go to an excellent school, nicest neighbors. Yep. Yeah, it's like, why don't go for the poor neighborhoods? Like, oh, I'm going to buy a mansion in the ghetto. It's like, why? You're still in the ghetto. I don't care. You have a mansion, but you're in the ghetto. So what difference does it make? You've surrounded yourself with ghetto people and the people who are going to influence your children. Okay. So do you really want your daughter to bring someone home from the bad neighborhood you've decided to live in? Oh, look, here, this is going to be the father of your grandchildren. And it's like, oh, I made a mistake. No, and I've said this before. I know people who actually left the town I was raised in deliberately because the quality of boys was horrible. And they wanted their daughters to have a good husband. So they moved to Orange County to a beach community. And I lost contact with them after that, but they probably found some nice guys from a good family. Oh, thank you, love. I know it's served with them. No, this is perfect. This is exactly what I was going to do. Thank you, dear. Yeah. Marquina brought me lunch that I was going to make for her or him. We've never had them. They're called what? Pupusas? They're El Salvadorian. I got them. I think I got them at Costco. Hi, Stacy. Oh, Greta, you're a sweetheart. Thank you, dear. I don't think Billy's ever received a tip. I appreciate that, love. But anyway, so my hi Joey Gomez, how are you? So I would get $100 a day and the food, food in the house or whatever. And so basically I just sit there and watch the dogs. Well, I felt so bad for these dogs and I didn't know what to do. Like, how can I improve their life? See, I can't let them run around the house because they're going to shit and piss all over the place because they haven't been trained. And I certainly can't train 4 dogs that are completely unruly. And I'm like, what can I do? So I would, give them extra food. I just do whatever I could to make them happy. Hey, Juke Highwalker, how are you, love? Narcissus, trust me. You don't pull the ghetto out. They pull you down to the ghetto. Yeah, I live in I live in San Bernardino. It's probably, I would say it's the worst city in Southern California. I don't know if it's most violent. I know you get closer to the border, it gets more violent, but it's a very violent city. I mean, it's just homelessness and trash, and it's just really unbelievable. Like the amount, it really, it's to the point where you just know that the city or the government doesn't care. Like, it's just so like in your face. It's almost like I could just see them at City Hall looking down out the windows and seeing all the trash and homeless and just laughing at the stupid taxpayers because it's just, it has to be deliberate. Like if your city has homeless people living in all the downtown parks and they're doing drugs and they're openly pooping out in public and they're doing it around City Hall and all of the government buildings in the city, they see it and they're not doing anything. That's what I don't understand. And how the taxpayers could sit there and give them a benefit of the doubt. Why would you do that? Like, And why do you keep hiring the same people that continue to destroy your city? I've never understood it. And I don't even have to go uh, right, left, Democrat, Republican. I don't care. Whoever can clean it up needs to do it. But clearly, neither one of them want to clean it up. I mean, let's be honest. Now, one can say, okay, maybe it's a Democrat thing because it's California. And I don't know the last time. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger was the last governor we had who's a Republican. So, we pretty much know that this is a very Democratic run state. And I just happen to live here. So, do I blame them? I don't know who do I blame? Who do I blame? Do I blame the mostly Hispanics who run the place? Do I blame the people of color? Who do I blame? Do I blame Democrats? I don't know. Tell me, who do I blame for the problems in my city? The majority of people? Because the majority would be the Latinos. So is that who we blame? I don't know. I want some non-racist person to tell me, who do I blame? But my Gramps is in Irvine, which has been nominated safest place in America. Oh yeah, it's not anymore. Yeah, Irvine's nice. Billy, thank you, Patty. I appreciate you. Do they have Pride in San Bernardino? they actually had a Pride event yesterday. And where was it? It was at this park. It's called Paris Hill Park. Okay. It's a mount. The hill is covered in homeless people. The kids can no longer use their playground. This is what I think is funny. So these homos, they do gay pride in a park, like littered with tents and shopping carts and trash. Well, what kind of pride is that? You're doing pride in this homeless park with dead grass and poop everywhere? Like, oh, wow, how glamorous. Wow, the gays have come so far, haven't they? They're having a pride in a park filled with homeless shit. Okay. Chaz says, do you rifle through people's... Oh, no, lube drawer. No. And that's the thing. I would take people's toys and put them in their kids' room. They usually divorced within 4 weeks of house sitting. No, and it's the thing. I was very respectful to this person, and he knows it too. Very respectful to this person. I never went through his stuff, and I normally would. Like, if I was younger, yeah, you caught me in my 20s, I would be going through all your stuff, okay? I wouldn't steal it, okay? But I'd go through it because I want to know what I was nosy, okay? And I would want to know everything. But not now. I never, like, I had access to the bedroom, and I would even, before they would come home, I'd actually clean up and stuff. And there were times like I would vacuum, like even their bedroom, and I would have no reason to be in the bedroom. I mean, I was trusted, but because I was a trusted employee and friend, supposed friend, that I had free reign of everything. And they never one time ever accused me of anything wrong, because I never did anything wrong. I'm a very respectful person, and they know that. So, no, I never went through their stuff. I honestly never did. I wish I would have now. LOL. Then who's paying taxes if the citizens are all homeless and on meth? That's what I'd like to know. Chaz says, do you oh, we already went through that. Okay, wait. It is. It's an all-out sport term gain. Everything since COVID is by design, democratic design, ever since Biden was placed in office. But I don't understand, because, so San Bernardino, where I live, is a minority majority, which is kind of odd. I mean, at some point, I'm the minority here. Okay, so the majority actually live here, which are Latinos. Okay. And, but if it was a white city, people go, oh, these white people are doing this and that. But are people going to talk about it? I don't know. Who do we blame? Or do we blame the white people for letting the Latinos rule? I don't know. What do you do? Like, where do you stop? Where do you stop blaming? Would my mom stay with me? Bye, Greta. Love you, dear. Thank you so much. I was glad to see you pop up. Oh, you think your mom was looking through stuff? I would never go through my mom's stuff. I would be afraid of what I'd find. Homosexual hobos are the best. Oh, yeah. Then taking over parks is the most upsetting thing. It is, Mars, because you know what? Southern California, I can only speak for us. Southern California has beautiful weather, okay? And, you could go to a park really any day of the week throughout the year, unless, of course, it's rainy and high winds. But the thing is, we have these beautiful parks with lakes and fish and just beautiful landscape that you can no longer enjoy. Now, the homeless people who are living in there, they don't pay for that. Like, they're not paying for that. In fact, they're costing us more money because they're trashing the place, and now the city has to come in and clean it up even further. Okay, how can I put it? I get it. There's these really soft-hearted people who pretend to care, but they really don't. Okay, they just act like they do. But the people who pretend to care, okay, it's like, well, what are we supposed to do? It's like, okay, so I want to go to the park, and I went to this grocery store. I bought some stuff to go to on a picnic. Um, Let me see. I pay for the streets because I pay, my registration fee. I pay my car insurance. I pay everything. Pay my bills. I pay the taxes. I pay the city taxes. Oh, I want to benefit from my taxes. Okay. So I'm going to go to a city park because it's a nice day, but you can't because the homeless have taken it over. They've been allowed to take it over. And I'm not saying, see, I have a feeling that there are people who don't live here who probably go, oh, you're exaggerating. You can't just let a couple homeless people stop you from enjoying life. No, dear, I am that person. I am, because I've lived here my whole life. There has always been a homeless person around. There has always been some thing around that you don't care for, but you have to put it out of your mind and try to go on with your day. Okay, I know, I've done that. But when you can't find a picnic table because they've taken over them, it's like they're camping. It's like there's a wooden table with a grill and a trash can and then a tent next to it. And it's like, dude, is this a campground? This isn't a campground. Like, you're not supposed to like pop your tent here and then own the place. It's not like you went and paid the campground, $30 a day to live here. I'm coming here with my dog or my kid or my family so we can enjoy the park and get out of the house. But I can't because now your tents are here, your dogs are here, your trash is here. You're stealing electricity from the light poles, and they actually have TVs. Okay. So it's like, and then City Hall, all those people are just looking at it. It's like, you can look out your window and see the problem. Why don't you fix the problems that are outside your window? Because you know what? Everybody else has the same view out their window. Okay. So that's what I don't understand about these places. Let's just say you are a crook politician. Let's just say you are, which I know the majority are. I mean, because you're getting in that position, so you have access. Okay. I mean, I'm not stupid. Okay. So yeah, it's a great job to get into politics and to become a leader of some kind. Now, what I don't understand is people voted for you to get you in that spot. And you look out your window and you could see exactly what the citizens can't stand about the city, but you deliberately do nothing about it. And I don't understand that. Like, why wouldn't you fix the things that people want? At least take a corner, at least take one corner and remove all the people and move them to a corner across town. Do that. At least fool me. At least lie to me. Lie to me and make me think that you did something, but you're not even going to do that. You're not even going to lie to me. Like, you don't even care enough about what I think to try to lie to me. Okay. And the thing is, I know you're not going to get these people off the street because they don't want to get off the street and you have nowhere to put them. So just shuffle them around, at least move them from my corner to the corner across town and let them, have the pleasure of their company for a while. Okay. Why not do that? Oh, yes, Susan, the motorhome there. It's always there. Yes, TVs. Do you know you go into Dollar General down the street from me and there are homeless people sitting out in front? They broke into the little boxes and they're charging their cell phones. It's you're walking into the store and people are like sitting outside like it's Starbucks, stealing the power to charge their phones. It's ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous. Okay. You don't dare take your kids to hell no. Oh, Mark says the beauty of your influencing is that you leave it up to the people to decide. It's not, it's an absolute mess there. You report people. That's right, Mark. How are you doing? You teach people to think critically. It's why your ex friends hate you. Yeah. He does. I got a chick that I got a chick from Battered Women's Shelter live with me for now. Oh, do you really, Mark? Yeah, and Susan knows because she passes that park on the way home. Okay. But anyway, I don't know. And it's like, why, how come people how come the scooter driving? Oh, how's it been going? Okay. Now, okay. I can get more into my scooter. I don't know if a lot of you know, I ordered one of these Chinese scooters from Amazon. Okay. And I did it because I saw the price and I'm like, it's $1,300. Okay. Now I didn't have 1,300 laying around, but I have credit. Okay. So Amazon's like, hey, well, you don't even have to pay for it all the way right now. We'll just charge you $160 a month to your credit card until it's paid off. So there's no interest unless I let it build on my credit card. Okay. So I'm like, okay, rad. So I have a year of payments on this scooter, and I'm gonna have it, it'll be paid off in a year. Okay. 160 a month. I spend $200 a month on gas in my car. Okay. So I'm like, okay, so I'll save $40 a month now on gas. And then in the end, after a year, I'll have a paid off scooter and I can go anywhere on it. Okay. Now this is the thing. Okay. Now I don't know how many of you are familiar with scooters. I was never familiar with them until I got it. And it's pretty minimum. Hi, Free Bleeder. How are you? And I'm not saying it's not a comfortable vehicle. It's just a motor between your legs and a seat and handlebars. I mean, it's attractive. It's just a scooter. It's, it kind of looks like those Honda Elite scooters, but they're not. But it's definitely not one of those ones where you stand on and like you kick your foot or whatever. Even the kind that have the little pole with the seat on it. Okay. They're awesome scooters. They're like motorcycles. Well, technically they are. And see, I didn't fully realize that till I got it. To be called a scooter, you have to be under a certain cc. That's just a number of power, I guess, or strength of an engine or whatever. I don't know enough about that particular engine. But anyway, in California, once you reach over 149 cc's, you're considered a motorcycle. Well, these have 168 cc's, but they still look like a scooter. And yes, we can get over 50 miles an hour on them. Okay. We've gotten up to 55. Okay. We'd still never go on a freeway because our freeway speeds are 65. But this is the thing. They have to be registered as motorcycles because they are technically motorcycles, but they look like a scooter because they go so fast. And you're supposed to have a motorcycle license. So you're now supposed to have I'm supposed to have an endorsement on my license with an M on it to say, oh, he could drive motorcycles. This is the thing. We're not doing it. We are going to drive them illegally around town to see how long we can get away with it. I don't know where you guys are when it comes to being a citizen of this country or anything. And I know a lot of you kind of live in areas that are safe and sheltered from what is happening. But as the times go on here where I live, let's just say the people that we see on the streets are becoming the population is becoming greater and the population is less American. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say. Less American. Okay. And there's more laws being broken. These people that are coming in and filling up the space here, they are not American and they are not here legally. And they are being taken care of by our tax dollars. Okay. And they're spilling out of these shelters and homes and just kind of aimlessly walking around, not knowing what to do because somebody in our government told these people that there was a pot of gold waiting for here, once they get here. But the pot of gold isn't there. They get a food stamp card, okay? Or whatever services they get. The services they're getting are not great enough, okay? You know how this country is. Everything's bare minimum. Okay? Including when it comes to these new arrivals, okay? So they're not getting what they thought they would get. Is irrelevant to me because you shouldn't be here anyway. Boo-hoo. But anyway, we have to deal with you now that you're here. And, Yeah, the only boohoo I feel is boohoo for me, not you. Okay. So anyway, um, as I see this going on, and I see all the abandoned cars on our streets that have been there for years, like years. And I live in a city. I don't live in the country. I live in a city. Okay. Um, these people are allowed. You go down the street and you'll see a couch in the middle of the street because all of a sudden there's this culture in the United States that you can drive down the street and push push a mattress or a couch in front of someone's house. So you'll wake up and I have a new couch in my yard or whatever. So this is going on everywhere. Okay. The money the money that should be used for the homeless people in our parks so we can go enjoy our parks are now being diverted to these other people, who have needs now. Okay. Because their needs are greater than ours. Do you realize that your tax dollars are being used to fulfill the needs of foreigners before they fulfill your needs? Like that isn't hyperbole. That's not a lie. That's not an exaggeration. It's the truth, and it is. But everybody doesn't care because I guess your life is good enough, isn't it? It's good enough. But see, they've been training us to live with good enough. Pretty soon, we're all they try to sell us on these tiny houses. They want you to think that your life will be better if you live with. You should see San Bernardino. Oh, Danny Perez, I'm right here. That's exactly what I'm talking about at San Bernardino. That's exactly what I'm talking about. What was I going to say? Yeah, they're getting. Have you noticed that you're being used? Yeah, you're getting used to having less, and if you don't like it, you're a bad person. Do you not see that? Do you not see that you're being pushed into a shoebox house? Not eating meat, eating genetically engineered things, and living your life online. And that's and they're making people want that. But yet all of these people are coming here and they are now moving into the houses we no longer live in, or they're living they're moving into these new apartments that are everywhere, that everybody has said are being built everywhere, even out in the middle of nowhere. And I wish I could show you guys our projects. Our projects look like beautiful hacienda apartments, like in the Mediterranean or something. And they used to be just brick gray military looking buildings. No, that wasn't good enough, for these poor people who deserve so much. No, let's put them in nice Mediterranean modern apartments. And your mortgage just went up by $500. Well, Susan, but see, that's the thing is at some point I think, am I the dumb one? I'm the dumb one. I'm the dumb one. I'm the one giving the money for this. I'm the one that's supporting all of this. It's like, you know what? Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to do it. An American has to go over that border, tear up their IDs, and then come back. Somebody has to do that, just to see what's going on and to see what benefits they get. We should get somebody. Oh my God, this would be a great skit. Get a U-Haul, fill it up with homeless people here, and then take them into Tijuana and release them there, and then have them come back over the border with no IDs or anything and see what kind of services they receive. I it's hard for me to believe that no one hasn't done that. There has to be somebody who has done that. Okay. So anyway, get back to my boss story. So I'd get $100 a day, and I would take care of the dogs, feed them 3 times a day, and they got really good food with pumpkin powder and yogurt and all fresh food, fresh dog food that they buy. Who the hell is giving us free health care and lodging? Who the hell is giving us? Richie, what are you talking about? Nobody. I mean, I get free health care because I'm on disability now, but that's about it. But it's minimal care. Oh, it burns your hide, free bleeder. Oh, yes. So anyway, I'm gonna try this pupusa. It's sitting here. Mark. See, look, they're like these little. It's like a dough, and then you break it open, and it has like it's supposed to have carnitas and cheese and stuff like that. But they're really good. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there with my boss now. That's a good enough story until next week. Yeah, I've never known anybody in my life who claimed to love animals who went and had them killed so you can have some booty hole. Okay. And then some time goes by and you replace the dogs and then you treat them exactly the same way as you did, making them live in cages. It's just amazing to me. Yeah, see, Sunday, Susan. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go. I hope you have a great weekend, great day. Thank you so much. You know what? I usually don't come on here, but you know what? I'm going to tell you something. When I come on as Billy, I actually get more engagement. Like my analytics, like online and all of like when I research everything, I get way more engagement when I'm like this, which really shocks me. Hagatha gets more than Kitty, but Billy gets more than both of them. And I never thought that would happen ever. I appreciate it. I don't have to put the makeup on. Anyway, you guys, love you. I'll talk to you later. Have a good weekend.